Good morning or afternoon, or wherever you're listening to this. Hi, I'm Lisa Buddha. I'm an intuitive coach and an energy and environmental energy consultant, which means I douse, which I can clear energy for a room or space. And today with me, again and always, is my good friend, Cindy. Cindy, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cindy Carnes, the founder of the Empowered Hours Club, and I help women create unstoppable momentum and revenue in their business and in their life so that they can enjoy the fruits of their success. And I'm super happy to be here with my dear, dear friend, Lisa.
Yes, we, no joke, we always have. So we were actually having a conversation on Zoom before we even got on here to do this, which I just so love. I love that we always have something to talk about and to like go over and to collaborate on. Where the collaboration part is so near and dear to my heart. So today, for this particular video, we are going to be talking about inspiration. And Cindy, well, first off, inspiration. Now, what does that mean? What is that for certain people? It's just like, well, is being inspired something that you do, or is it something that happens to you, or is it something that not that it's like, do you do that? Is it happening? Is it something that just comes upon you like, oh, ta-da, I'm so inspired? What do you think that is, Cindy? I know what it sort of is for myself, but what do you think that is?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question, Lisa. I'm like,
kind of a lot. Sorry.
It's a very deep topic. But what is inspiration for me? I'm going to say quickly in a nutshell what the first thing that came up to my top of my head. It can be a life event. It can be something I've read. It can be something I'm listening to, something that I'm seeing. And a life event could be, I live in Lower Town, St. Paul, and I love urban living. And I could simply just walk outside on the curb and see something. And what it does, inspiration to me is it triggers a thought. And it triggers a thought in me like, ooh, I'm seeing something that makes me feel good, or triggers a thought of how can I bring more of that into my life.
Oh, nice.
For a roundabout answer.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Like, how can I bring more of that into my life? That's perfect. I too, like, so the questions, like all of that is like right. You can get inspired, like something comes to you that has happened. It's happened to me. That's my experience. Not on everything. Or I see or hear something, and then it's like, oh, that is perfect. I'm going in that direction. Let's go. That's perfect. I can do that. Or, oh, I'm pivoting in a path. It's just like, oh, that inspired me to go that way. Okay, great. All of that is what inspiration is. And I actually, before I got on here, did look up what inspire means actually in the dictionary. And it is to motivate. That was a word that it's like motivation and to have you move forward. So the other question I have is what inspires you to move forward? So that to me, not just in your personal life, but your business life, what inspires you to move forward in both? Is there something that happens or that you specifically do to have inspiration happen so you can move forward? How did that land okay, how I said that?
Absolutely. I totally get. I am totally following you.
Okay. Yay!
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Success. No, definitely. It's like, boy, and it's a journey, right? It's the first thing that comes to me is to be open to possibilities. And when I think of inspiration, it's going back to the way we were raised in our childhood of go to school, select a career, get a good job, work really hard, retire, then enjoy life. And it's like, I'm not, right or wrong. We can talk about that forever. But the thing of it is that to me, that creates, as I'm sitting here looking at the roads outside my window, that creates a path. And it's like, this is everything that you have to go in. And it's like, didn't think of really inspiration, right, as growing up, because it was like, nope, this is my process flow to get me to the next step, right? I have to work really hard. And when it came to my professional career, professional development was super easy. I want to be a business analyst. Well, what's required to be a business analyst? These are the areas that to continue my education to be a business analyst. And then, like you said, life inspires us in many different ways. As you and I talk a little bit about that feather brick, we finally get that brick, and life is like, I'm inspiring you to take a pivot and look at the possibility of what's possible. And so then it's that personal development. And that personal development to me was so foreign. I mean, I went into personal development thinking it's the same as professional development. I can read books, I can listen to podcasts, I can take workshops, and boom, I am inspired. It wasn't happening. And I might be getting off your question a little bit.
That's perfect.
But what it is to me, so that was the challenge. And so really it was, I can tell you, we can talk about how I got over it, but it was really to open my mind to there's multiple ways to solve a problem. There's multiple different routes to take. So what feels good for me at the moment? What's my inspiration at this moment? So I'm thinking I have a big goal, right? We have that big dream of with life, time, and money was no object. What would life look like?
Yep.
And instead of creating checklists are good. We use checklists in many different ways of our lives, but it's not a permanent road, right? It's not a permanent math. Like these things have to happen. They can happen in different many ways. So if we go back and say, this is what it is that I want to create, and this is what I'm thinking about today. And that is through podcasts, that is through reading, and that is through collaboration, spending time with other like-minded people, and just being open and honest about what we're going through. And that sparks an idea. And so a lot of, words sometimes I replay. So there's a community of women that come together once a week, and we talk in the Empowered Hours Club, but we talk about this kind of stuff. One member mentioned a book, the power of one more. Those words now I haven't read the book yet. I've also have another book, They Ask You Answer. I haven't read the book that either, but I know a little bit about those stories. And so that's what those words start to run into my head. And that's what then starts to inspire me, right? Or a quote, like there's my favorite quote right now is, the question is not who is going to let me, the question is who is going to stop me. So when I'm thinking about inspiration, those are the things that actually start to move me forward. And I don't have to think about, oh my gosh, I have to get to the highest mountain step right now. Right. I just want to get to the next step.
Perfect.
Long answer.
No, that was actually perfect. That is exactly it. Like I found yesterday. So just in myself moving forward, I was actually doing technically, my chores for lack of a better word. It was just, stuff I wanted to like kind of handle in my house. Plus I was doing laundry. So if I'm doing laundry, I can do other things. And so I'm trying to little bit organize my kitchen. But while I'm in there, I'm like, okay, what do I need to, so when I get into the organize mode, then it's like, what else can I organize? And then I get inspired to organize other things, which then inspires me to have other titles for things, to have other things to put out for content, to have things to talk about on our collaboration videos. I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen. And I was really struck by the fact that I am doing, chores in my house. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised this inspired all of this, coming up for me. And some of the stuff I remembered and could, come to my computer and write down and get it somewhere where I have it. Some of it I just let go of because it was like going, oh, that would be really great, maybe later. Because that actually is the other thing I find with inspiration. I can get inspired pretty much walking out my door. And there are certain things that I was like, okay, that's got to be for later because I can't, like I'm busy kind of thing. But you always have a choice, right? There's always a way for you to choose. But that was one thing I found super interesting of being able to do kind of the stuff that is a little bit on autopilot and then get inspired for other things. That for me was something that I was like, all right, inspiration, here we go. Hence the topic today, because that is actually what came up. So I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
So then next question I have for you. So you hit it on the nail. You were talking about how it feels. So when you are inspired, the feeling that that you get, and it's not always the same feeling, right? There's some feelings like I get super excited, or I get like, ooh, just ooh, that's the feeling. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what I had yesterday. Ooh, I gotta go write that down.
Right.
So that was pretty much the deal on that whole thing. However, there are times where the feeling, hang on. I want to say, do you get the feeling first, or do you get inspired first and then it leads to a feeling? How about that?
Okay. That's like a double-edged sword.
I know.
But I do want to touch on something what you said too, and that is what we talk about a lot, right? Is tapping into your intuition. And what you were saying about, oh, okay, doing my, my daily or whatever my chores is, or, like laundry or grocery shopping or whatever, or those things that really don't take a lot of thought to actually implement. And then other thoughts come into our mind, right? So it's like we're open to receive those thoughts and those possibilities. Now, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the feeling or the thought, or the thought or the feeling? It can happen either way. But for sure, what I will say is that sometimes, and you get an inspiration, and it may not be, you may not be energized, right, to take action, because maybe it's releasing something. And maybe you don't, your intuition or your inspiration is like, look, maybe this isn't working. Whatever it is that you're trying to do or trying to accomplish in your business, in your life, or as you well speak to, as our relationships, all different types of relationships, whatever that may be, a career, like talking about that career that's like, maybe it's not working, and I'm getting that feeling of something's not right, and my inspiration is to release it, but I don't want to release it. And then, of course, but what we like to focus on is that inspiration, and then we're energized to get it done.
Yeah.
But strategic planning too, right? Because as you hit it on the head. Yes, we get inspired to do, because we're multi-passionate entrepreneurs and we love to do it all, and we all want to do it right now. But you and I know, we listen to podcasts. It's like, it doesn't have to happen right this second, but put it on the list, So like, as you're walking out your door and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm inspired to you know, and the words too, I need to, which we try not to do that, right? Say
Right.
those about, oh, I need to go buy flowers, or I need to go do this. It's like, okay, I want to maybe buy flowers for my entryway, but maybe it's not today.
I get to.
I don't know if I answered
Yeah.
again. I went kind of
No,
wrong. But
that was perfect. And that too, it's like I get to do that.
yes, I get to.
Not I have to.
Yeah.
So that and I get to or not.
Yeah.
You know, like
Choices.
you still have the choice, which I love with everything that we do. There's always a choice in the matter. You always have a choice at whether or not you're going to work with a client, or whether or not you're going to take an inspiration and use it and run with it. It's always a choice, which there's a lot of love there for me, because I'm like going, yeah, because there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just not going to. So
right. It doesn't feel good.
You're right. It's like,
I don't feel inspired to take action on that inspiration.
but it was perfect what you said. The whole sometimes you get inspired and it is something that, it might not feel great, but it's something you need to release, or something that needs to be, it's like internally handled. To have you move forward.
Right.
It's that internal educating. It's internally educating yourself to go, okay, am I going to hang on to this? Anger, frustration, hurt. There's lots of words for different things that you hang on to, because maybe someone did something to you whenever. And is that helping you move forward?
Yeah.
That in itself, that's a big deal. That's a whole, like, honestly, I coach on that and getting that released for women, especially. So yeah, that is something that's definitely that's near and dear to me, especially to help women and support women. So there you go on that. Okay, so one last thing. What can you do to have inspiration show up easily?
Yeah, that's an easy one. Meditation. I mean, and meditation can be very, very, and meditation takes many forms. There's many forms of meditation. And so and it doesn't, and it can be scary, right? Because it's really like closing my mind. But so how do you practice, you start small. I do a meditation, a 5-minute meditation every morning. I mean, that is in my daily practice. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen, which gets into another topic, but that doing that I have 2 things that I try to do every morning. One is my meditation and one is my mindset work. And what I find by doing that, and my meditation is just asking, you talk about a lot about asking for what's the best and greatest and the highest for us today. So that is the question in my meditation. Then I go to my mindset work, and then I go shower, and I feel like, boom, a great idea just happened. Now, does that mean, like you said, do I have to drop and run to make that happen? No, but I can write it down.
Yep.
And whatever lists, we can talk about that too in that strategic planning section.
Yep.
And just write it down, and then and let it happen. But to me, meditation is the easiest way. Listening to a podcast would be the second to spark meditation or inspiration.
I completely agree. Meditation, number 1 for me. And I too do a morning routine. And it is not, I don't spend hour, I don't get up at 4:00 in the morning so I can do my routine. I don't do that. It's very compact, because that's how it needs to be for me. And that's what actually works for me. Now, mind you, if I can spend 45 minutes to an hour doing a meditation, awesome. I will do that. Normally, I have to be on some video or something like that to do that, and I have to have the time. But in the mornings, it is totally meditation and mindset, meditation and mindset. And my mindset, I am usually listening to like Abraham Hicks or Gabby Bernstein or Brene Brown or something like that, because that helps me get into the mindset. Excuse me. And the other thing is with the meditation, because you're it's like shutting down the thinking part of your brain and letting just what comes naturally happen. That is, to me, that's the super easiest way to be inspired. It just is to me. Other people may find some other way, which, let us know in the comments, because I'd like to know what else you do to be inspired. So, because I do believe that other people with, like I said, like I was doing chores, technically stuff I don't have to think about, because it's stuff I do all the time. Because it's not using my thinking brain, because it's that repetitive thing I've done. It's like driving. I get inspired when I drive. That because I'm driving, I know how to drive to my job. I know how to drive home. I know that kind of thing. Then I can get inspired when I drive. So there's that. And I know a lot of people actually have it when they exercise, or they're running or walking, because that actually gets there, when you run or walk, you already know how to do that. So you can let the thinking part of your brain go and see what shows up for you. So that was that. And okay, sorry, I'm getting a message. I'm sorry. I was like, ew. And they're kind of loud about it. It's like, and being in nature. Yes, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's like sometimes they're really loud in my head. So go ahead.
I'm like, this is great, because it's like what's coming up for me. It's what do we do, right? To, like you said, to really open our mind, to stop the thinking of, oh my gosh, my task list or whatever it is feels like it takes a lot of thought. But it can be art, it can be nature, it can be meditation, shower, all of those things, laundry. And I know, because you and I talk about that a lot. It's like, when you feel stuck, when you're in something and you're trying to make something happen and it's not happening. I use the analogy of, you feel like you're pushing a mountain by yourself, then take a step back and allow for that inspiration. And that's where it's like, whatever that task is for you, whether it's all those things that you said, exercising, sleeping.
Yes. Yes.
Sleeping. Abraham Hicks talks about that a lot. It's basically just to stop the chaos going on in your brain, to put it on pause, do something that you don't have to think about to distract, and then let the inspirations come in. And then you get a choice. Yeah. Then you have a choice.
Exactly. Then you have a choice. Yeah. Which, I mean, who doesn't love that? So
yeah. So I love that. Let us know how you get your inspiration in the comments.
Exactly. Let us know that. Oh, that would be great. So that is what I have today. And Cindy, I'm just always so grateful that we get to do this together. And anything that you would like to say before we go?
No, I just that this has been great. And I am so grateful for you and the fun that we're having with this, and just, we hope to inspire, right? Exactly. I mean, that's why we put this together. We wanted to have information, inspiration, and fun. Yes. That is what our goal here is today. And it's happening for me. I hope it's happening for you. And we hope it's happening for those that are listening.
Absolutely. And thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous rest of your day. And we will see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.